It's the Voice Coach podcast with me, Nic Redman, your own personal voice geek, ready to guide you through getting the most out of your speaking voice. If you use your voice for a living as an actor, podcaster, voice artist, speaker, or presenter, then this is the podcast for you. Let's crack on. Hello. Apologies for being tardy on this second episode in the two-part goal-setting series. I was a little bit ill and had to prioritise lying in bed and getting better. So sorry for being selfish and leaving you out in the cold. So first week since I started this podcast where there wasn't an episode. So I'm so sorry about that. But listen, here I am, back in the habit, rehydrating and ready to help you think about the voice training goals that we were thinking about sort of last time and moving on from that. So last time was reflective and thinking about the year that's just gone and the things your voice has done for you and how you feel about your voice, all that kind of thing. I hope that was useful. Sometimes it's a bit painful as well, isn't it, looking back? But you know what? You have to bloody do it. And let's start with some aims for the year ahead now, sort of moving forward. My desk is, I'm not going to lie, cluttered with planners. I'm a bit of a planner junkie, not just the voiceover career planner that me and Leah made for the voiceovers in our lives, but oh god, yeah, I've got like a content planner. I've got a daily sort of to-do list planner. I've got a reflecting on the year let's just gone planner, all sorts. So I feel like goals are really in my head at the moment, and honestly, if you've never done it before, it might be a bit weird and tough, but I do think it's really useful. So let's think about the year going forward. I want to just give you a few questions to think about in terms of your voice training and your relationship to your voice and what it may be doing for you over the next year. Because that is the sort of information that's going to inform the sort of practice that you need and the training and the support that you might need, whether it's from this podcast and me or a different coach or whatever. Until you know what you're going to do with your voice and what you need from it, you don't know what to do with it, to develop it. So here we go. Let's not waffle on any longer. Question number 1. Oh, you might want to get a pen and sit down and make yourself comfy. Or you might want to pause now, come back to this later on when you've got a bit more headspace. Or you might just want to think about them, Sometimes it's really nice not to commit anything to paper the first time round. Maybe just listen to it, digest it, pop those little nuggets in your brain and see what comes up when you pick up your pen and paper later. All right, question 1. I'm going to say it again because I think it's really important. It's a really hard question, but I want you to think, what do you like about your voice right now in this very moment? I know in the last step I asked you what you liked about your voice, and that was from a reflective point of view. Now we're thinking about it in the moment, right now. What do you like about your voice as you stand or sit right now in this present moment? So have a think about that one. Next one, again similar but thinking forwards. What do you need from your voice this year? You might not know yet, and that's okay. But just think, what's coming up for you in the next little while? What's in that business plan in terms of voice use? What are you going to use your voice for? Are you starting a new podcast? Are you going to be guesting on podcasts as part of a marketing strategy and thinking about nerves and that kind of thing and prepping your voice for being interviewed? Are you doing more meetings or presenting at work? Maybe if you're a voiceover artist or performer, you're planning to do more extreme stuff in the future, like video games and maybe long-form narration. Is there anything in there in your business plan or your forward thinking that your voice needs to support you in? What will your voice help you to achieve this year? So write that one down. What do you need from your voice this year? What's coming up? And again, if the answer is dunno yet, Nick, haven't thought about it, that is fine. This is just for you. I'm not going to ask you to email me your workings out. All right, question 3. What would you like to explore in your voice moving forwards? Now, in terms of training and abilities, this is. So maybe in reflection, you find you'd worked on your warm-ups this year a lot and you were feeling really confident about that, but maybe there's something more in the fundamentals of the technique that you need to assess instead. So instead of that prep for speaking, like your warm-ups and things. Is it that you need to work on your breath or your resonant quality or range? Maybe you're trying to get a voice with a bit more variety or strength. Or maybe you're a total newbie and you don't know anything about what you need yet. And that is just as valid a position to be starting in. Perhaps what you need to explore this year is just raising your awareness of what your voice does and is. Or maybe there's a certain word that's inspiring what you need from your voice moving forward. Are you looking for more ease? Are you looking for more freedom or expression? Whatever it is, write it down. Or think about it and write it down a bit later on when you get your coloured pens. Number 4, question 4. Who do you want to work with on your voice this year? Have you been following a coach on Instagram who you're excited by, whose jib you like the cut of, and you want to work with them? Who is on your hit list, your coach hit list? Have you seen a course that you want to do? Is something popping up in the algorithm on social media? Maybe there's a retreat you want to go to, wink, wink, although the February one's full. But there will be more. Maybe there's somebody you want to work with one-to-one. So who is that coach on your radar this year? Write it down, get it on paper, manifest it, baby. I don't think I should say things like manifest. That didn't feel right. Look, let's move on. Okay, final question, number 5. What time can you give your voice this year? Now be honest. Consistency is the important thing here. So if it's 5 minutes a day, if that's what you're aiming for, then absolutely bloody brilliant. Maybe it's 20 minutes twice a week. Who knows? And again, this might be something that develops and changes as January continues for you, but just think about it. What time can you give your voice this year? And I'm sorry, I don't take there's no time as an answer, all right? I know there's a lot going on. Believe me. I'm definitely the queen of keeping busy. But there's always time. There's always some time somewhere. So just sit down, map out your day, map out what you need to do with your voice, and work out how much time you think it's important to give your voice this year. All right, that's the 5 questions. That wasn't hard, was it? I hope it's got you thinking a wee bit. And if there's any answers that aren't there yet, it's totally fine. Just mull them over, have a think, have a ponder, get a cup of tea and just keep a pen handy and write them down later. I've been doing a really interesting exercise called Unravel Your Year from a lady who I came across on social media called Susanna Conway. It's taken me ages, but it's really worth sometimes just reading the question, getting on with a few tasks and thinking about it, and then committing things to paper. And actually her tip is use stickers and coloured pens and make it visual, which I really like. But maybe you're someone who hates that and you just want to put it in an app, which is also fine. You do you, as they say. Now, just as a quick recap, question 1, what do you like about your voice right here in this moment? What do you need from your voice this year? What would you like to explore in your voice moving forwards? Who do you want to work with? What coaches do you want to play with this year? And number 5, what time can you give your voice work this year? Now, I hope your answer to one of those questions was that you're planning on joining me for New Year, New Voice, starting in the Voice and Accent Hub on Monday the 24th of January. How slick was that? If you haven't signed up, then head to my website via the link in the bio. It's a lovely free week of daily sessions just to get us back in the groove. It's a wee bit later than planned because I've been ill, but I'm going to do it anyway. Like I said, Monday the 24th of January. And it'll just really help you check in with how your voice feels, check in on those body tensions that might have crept up if you were hosting family over Christmas and you're getting the kids back to school or you're trying to get back into work, and hopefully release some tension and free the breath, check in on the breath, all that gloriously lovely stuff in the wonderful supportive environment of the Voice and Accent Hub on Facebook. And it's free. As usual, there'll be a few wee fun surprises and prizes along the way. This might be your chance to get one of my mugs. So there's a link in the bio. Get your name down. And yeah, happy voicing for now. We'll see you in the next episode for a little sesh checking in on that warm-up, because it's been a hot minute and we need to make sure they're still doing what they should. All right, love. Lip trilling out. Thanks for listening to the Voice Coach podcast. For even more tips, tricks, exercises and general crack, head over to our Facebook community, The Voice and Accent Hub. Thanks again.